Hi, I'm Cash with CashedOutCars, and in today's video, we're going to be looking at my MK5 Volkswagen after about 10,000 miles of ownership and 130,000 miles on the car. And I'm going to be going over some problems that I've had and some common problems that often come up with this generation of Volkswagen. So let's get to it. The first common issue that I want to talk about is the door mechanisms. As you can see over here, my electronic locks currently are working. So if I do press this lock right here, the car does lock and it does unlock as it should. But if the car is locked, the door actually won't open because the mechanism itself is messed up. And I have had many problems with the electronic locks themselves. And currently, my key fob doesn't actually unlock my car or lock my car. So as you can see, I could press the unlock and the lock button and nothing happens with the car. And it's not the battery, I've checked the battery. It's just that some electronic stuff with these cars does tend to go wrong. Another small issue with the interiors of these cars is a lot of the buttons and stuff have a soft touch coating, which makes everything look pretty good and it does make it feel good to touch. But it tends to wear out, as you can see down here. This wore out and I sanded it down and covered it in Plasti Dip to give it the soft touch feel again. But when it's worn down, it looks pretty bad. As you can see on these switches, you could definitely tell they're worn, and it just makes the car age kind of quick and not look great once the finish starts to deteriorate a little bit. And a final problem that's pretty common with the interiors of these cars is the headliners tend to fall down and sag a little bit. As you can see behind the sunglasses container right there, the headliner itself is falling down, and I don't know if it's just bad adhesive that they used or something, but they do tend to start to sag and not look so great after time. And now we'll move on to the exterior of the car and talk about some common problems with that. As you can see here, this was repaired because there was a lot of rust inside this wheel arch right here, and that began spreading forward. So I had to get rid of that and I ground it down to repair it. But rust on these cars is pretty common in the rocker area and in the wheel arches. So just beware of that, and if you see rust, stop it as soon as possible. Another common problem with these cars is the gas doors tend to fail and break off. As you could see, my car doesn't have one. And this is actually a pretty common problem because I've seen 3 to 4 other MK5s with broken gas doors. So if you have one, definitely be easy on the gas door. And if you get one broken, I think it's a pretty extensive job to replace it. So just know that if you're looking at a used car with a broken gas door. Now we'll move on to the engine and the driveline, and surprisingly these cars are actually pretty reliable and I haven't had too many issues with mine. This has just over 130,000 miles and I've owned it for about 10,000 miles. And so far I've had to replace one of the motor mounts because the motor before had a ton of slop in it, and now it's better. So if you have a car with higher miles, motor mounts could be a problem. And also, my car does leak a little bit of oil. It's nothing too major, and it's nothing to not buy one of these cars over. But just so you know, they could develop small oil leaks like all other cars. And a final thing that actually failed on me while I had the car was the flex pipe, which is a part of the exhaust which flexes for when you rev and the engine moves. That actually broke on my car and it created a really bad exhaust leak and pretty much sheared the exhaust off. So that's pretty much the extent of the problems that have came up on my car, and looking on forums, these are definitely some of the most common problems and they often come up across all the models in the model line from around this year. So if you're looking at one of these cars, definitely don't be scared because of those problems, but do know that they could come up. So with all that said, thank you so much for watching, and please consider subscribing for more. As always, thank you for watching.